My editing session tonight was relatively long. I actually ended up canceling on a card game tonight. My Friday evenings are generally, most of the time, I'm usually going out and usually it's some sort of game of cards or something like that that I'll go play in the evenings. Just helps me unwind after kind of a long work week. But tonight I skipped that. I've been known to do that. I think I've mentioned that a couple times before, that I'll skip certain engagements when writing sessions sort of require it. Tonight happened to be one of those nights where I wanted to really plug through and make more edits to my final draft of that wrestling novel I keep talking about, just because I want to get to the query process. I want to get this thing queried off. I want to start sending it off. I want to start getting eyeballs on it. And to be truthful, I want to be done with the project. Again, I keep thinking towards what the next one's going to be, what this next project's going to be, and I keep that persistent. There's that persistent feeling that's constantly kind of nagging at me of, you need to take a break. You need to step back from what you're doing. Kind of close out all of the things you've been doing. Step back, because you need to focus on another project, on your next project instead. That's how I feel. That's how I've that's kind of how I've constantly felt throughout this whole thing. And so for me, that is going to be just that, I guess, that sort of reminder, that sort of feeling that I think I'm going to have throughout this whole remainder of my editing sessions, which is just get this thing done and then step back and reassess and figure out what you're going to do next. There feels like a certain defeatism in that mentality, the idea that if you're thinking about your next project, there's a certain element of, okay, well, if you're thinking of your next project, that probably means that this one is not going to work out, right? Like, if you think about your next project, you're probably thinking, all right, I'm not going to be spending the next year making edits for an agent or a publisher, or making some sort of changes for them on the novel that I've queried. I'm working on something new, presumably because I'm never going to hear back from them, right? Obviously, it's good advice to always work on your next project, and you can't necessarily waste time, per se, on just the hopes that your book is going to get picked up and you can work on that. You do have to sort of think of the next thing. But I think if you are thinking constantly in the future about your next project, it may indicate that you sort of know this one is not going to work out. I certainly don't hope that. I certainly, the very logical, I guess, part of me, if my subconscious is sort of telling me that, then fine. But, the very logical sort of kind of rational mind of myself is saying, no, this thing has a shot. It's got a competitive shot. So just keep fighting with it, and don't worry about that. But it's interesting. It's interesting that we do tend to always look to the future about our next projects, that we don't, that we're always happy to have finished a project, but never happy while we're doing the project itself. Writing is just one of those activities, I think, for people where a lot of people would rather have their book, finished, rather than actually go through the process of writing. Like, if you could wave a magic wand and just have your book, instantly appear, right? All the thoughts and the ideas in your head just instantly put down and your book be done. We'd all want that, right? We'd all want that situation. Not a lot of us get pleasure in the process of doing the act of writing. I certainly enjoy a lot of the elements of it. I do like first drafting. I think it's fun. I like editing. I like making changes and seeing my work come along, and I get jazzed up when there's a good sentence or a good scene that I've written that I'm proud of. I get fired up about that for sure. But yeah, if I could wave a magic wand and just have my book magically appear finished, yeah, I'm taking that bet. I think a lot of writers would. And again, it's interesting. It's very interesting. There's not too many arts, not too many activities or hobbies where people would just want to have the end thing and never enjoy, and kind of skip over the whole actual act of doing it. It's it's unique pretty much to writers, and it's because I think the idea of taking something that you have to imagine in your head and convey it to someone else is very difficult, and that the process of writing is really just for us kind of a means to an end. It's simply a means of conveying a thought to someone else. That's all writing is. So if we can shorten it, that'd be awesome, right? It'd be like if you could take a magic wand and telepathically communicate with someone else. You do it, right, rather than waste time on the phone or on Skype or something. Basically, you would just directly input thoughts to other people. It's kind of the same thing with books. Rather than transmitting your thoughts and your ideas slowly over time, you could just instantly have them all transmitted and compiled into a book. At least that's kind of my take on it. But I also ended up sending another query off for my other novel there, the tarot novel. So that one was sent off. We'll hear back from that. I think I have like 4 out at this point. Again, slowly rolling it out. They're doing a very, very slow rollout here of this. And it's gonna suck, unfortunately, doing a slow rollout, but that's what we're on right now. It is the slow rollout. What's going to happen now is over the next maybe week or so, I'll probably end up wrapping up my draft of the Bresslin novel here. I'm getting, I made some progress. So about a week from now, I might be done. And then it's time to start querying. It's time to start seeing if agents are interested. It's time to start seeing what they might be looking at here, and see if maybe they're going to go for this novel. Again, that'll be a slow rollout. It'll be maybe 3-4 people basically for maybe a month or so. Hear back, wait to hear back. No, okay, a few more. All right, no, if I don't hear back, all right, maybe readjust the query letter. Maybe look at my first pages again, etc. Just constantly rolling these things out slowly is the best way to do it, because you have to take their no's as feedback. You have to take passes from others as feedback. And so you're wasting all of available agents on just a first round query. If you just query 100 people right off the bat, you're wasting everything. Every potential opportunity you have, you're wasting on just the hope that you nailed this thing the first time correctly. And no matter how good you are, no matter how good of a writer I think you are, query letters have to be done very well. Your opening chapters need to be very, very strong, etc., etc., etc. And if you're gonna query everybody on the first pass, you're taking a really good shot at hoping that you got it right the first time. And let's be real here, it's rare. It's rare that you get it right the first time. So slowly rolling it out and then taking no responses or no hearbacks, basically as a sign that, okay, maybe I have to redo my query letter, maybe I have to, if they respond to some sort of custom response to me, that means that my query letter worked, it got their attention, and something about the opening chapter I sent or the pages I sent didn't work. Maybe it just wasn't a good fit for them. Maybe there was something actually wrong with it. I need to reassess this and constantly revising it. And so that's going to be me, I think, over the next probably 6 months, maybe a year. I don't know. I could potentially slow roll this out over the course of a year, maybe. Kind of exhaust every avenue. Maybe I'll make that part of my goal for next year, then, is to slowly do this. But either which way, we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end of the writing on this, and something new will be starting up soon.